Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take top stories in crypto and break down in bite-sized pieces. Today, just as the thumbnail suggests, there is so much good news going on. Even I'm having a hard time believing all the different great positivity that's coming down the pipe. So what we're going to take a look at today quickly is we're going to take a look at the market. We're going to take a look at a couple of tweets to get into a right frame of mind as far as like positivity. We're also going to take a look at how Google and crypto is going to be working together on top of the fact. Now we've got Facebook and Instagram getting into NFTs and crypto and why that all is. And then last to last, we're going to talk about how some get it and some actually just get blockbustered. And then lastly, we'll talk about Sunday swap and a special thing that's going on and also some Q&A. So before we get going, let's make sure that the audio is doing okay and then the video, because I'm trying out a new router here in Puerto Rico. And I want to make sure that there's actually some good connection. All the tests that I've done so far have been pretty solid. So we will see. Hola, ¿cómo todo para allá, Rob? Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? Ya, buen día. Buen día aquí en Puerto Rico. 80 degrees, más o menos. Y yo creo un buen día, un buen semana. Más importante. So I think that's going to be a great day and a great week and all that good stuff. So I think we're doing good as far as like the audio and visual. Let's just get into it, huh? A lot of stuff to go over and we don't have a lot of time. So first up, the market. What do we got? Well, the market itself is doing pretty darn good. And like I said, there is so much good news coming out from big names that even I am having a hard time believing that it's actually coming out all at once. So what we have today is a market around 2.1 trillion, almost getting into that 2.2. We've been fluctuating, going back and forth and just oscillating. That's just how it is right now. But Bitcoin price is 43.1. We were actually seeing in the last 24 hours, this is what I care about, 24 and 7 day. So Bitcoin's up 2.5, but down a little bit. Ethereum is down a little bit over the 7 day, but it's making up some ground. Just that's pretty much how it is, except for, Solana's down 7, but up 3.7 for today. And then Cardano is taking a little bit of a tumble because today is a day for their DEX, the Sunday swap DEX to go live. It's going to be Thursday. I believe it's in the evening. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. And we're going to talk about that a little later. XRP, hey, XRP's up. All right. Terra, 5.3. Anything big? 7% for crypto.com, even though they went through that mild. There was a small hack for their hot wallet, not for their big funds. They're multi-billion. They can absorb a couple, 80 or whatever million it was that they got hacked for. Not a big deal to them. 3.8, and they actually refunded everybody's funds that I heard. Tron's up 5%. What? Crazy. 6.8% and so on and so forth. So that's what's going on in the market. We're seeing some good things. Everybody's happy. Great. Now, here's the thing I wanted to start with to get us in the right mindset. And that is just a little bit of positivity, because in these days, and I can understand now why it's not, here's just something to wrap your head around. This was a tweet I saw from strongbags.eth, and she says, hey, in January 2020, I was driving for DoorDash. January 2022, I'm retired. That's the power of crypto and NFTs, hashtag Ethereum. And now before we go on, this is not a get rich quick type of situation, which I'm talking to you about. Crypto and digital assets, all the same principles apply. It's you can get rich overnight, like you get some Dogecoin millionaires, but that stuff doesn't last and it's few and far between. So the same things apply. Dollar cost averaging, making sure that your mindset is right, making sure that you're in it for the long haul, zooming out when there's different problems, those types of things. So when we say these things, it can happen, but it just takes a little bit longer. And it's all about how, what you want to do. Do you want to get into it in like 30, 40, 50 years and then get rich, from like bonds? Or do you want to just shorten that type of thing? Again, this is not investment advice, just investment opinion here on the channel. And that's how it goes. So there was that piece I thought that was great news. I mean, I like to hear stuff like that. And then somebody else said it pretty good. This was Lord Byron Single Stake Pay. He goes, look, I got started in crypto in mid 2017. I lived through that long bear market in 2018, got dinged on tax ignorance. I am in the same boat there. Learned more, kept at it, retired early July 2022. And he says, July 2021. And that's a pretty good statement. What it really comes down to is that, yes, there is gains to be made, but the investment principles are still the same. But then I started to think about it because I've been in since 2017, and I wondered myself, why is there's so much negativity, especially when we're doing so well. And I forget the fact that people haven't been in crypto for as long as I have been. And I get cursed with knowledge. And that's why I did this poll this morning, excuse me. And I just asked a basic question. I said, look, when did you get into crypto? And I thought about doing this after I watched Ben over at Into the Cryptoverse. And he said that the majority of people have just gotten in 2021. I was like, Ben's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's probably a lot of OGs out there. But now that I did this poll, I'm like, holy smokes. And granted, it was only 1,200 people that took it. But there's a lot of people, almost half, just got in 2021. So no wonder people are not that enthusiastic about crypto. 2021 was, right now, if you got in March or November, you're underwater in a lot of different things because you were the exact same thing that I did, which I got in 2017 in November. And I got underwater. I dollar cost average for the last 4 years. Everything's are good now, but it took a lot of time. So I understand now why people are like, hey, there's a lot of negativity out there because the time hasn't been there. But just put in the time, everything will be okay, I will say. That's my little pep talk for the day. Let's get into today's top stories, which is Google. Google cards to store Bitcoin and crypto. New report came out. So Google's been playing back and forth. And before I go on about Google, I just want to remind everybody that Google had at one point banned crypto ads and crypto products. This was in June 25th, 2019. So again, it's another example of what people look to as far as social indicators or indicators to get into investments. Like it or not, Google's a huge company. And when they ban something, people are like, wow, I want to stay away from that. So when they can do a total 180 and go, you know what, we're not going to ban crypto ads. We want to actually encourage those. And also, we're going to do a little bit of storing Bitcoins. Here's what's going on. So Google's digital cards might soon enable users to hold Bitcoin and spend fiat. The company has formed partnerships with Coinbase and BitPay to enable the functionality. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to catch up with what PayPal has already been doing. Because if you don't know, here in the States, I don't know what it is in the world, but there's this thing called Google Pay. And they're falling way behind all the other payment processors. So like, how do we catch up? Well, pretty good ways just to tap into crypto because everybody's with it. And then they can actually make more of headway. So this was from Bill Reddy, Google's president of commerce. And he says, crypto is something we pay a lot of attention to. As user demand and merchant demand evolves, we'll evolve with it. Google's formed partnerships with Coinbase, BitPay, and Google's crypto integrations allow its customers to hold Bitcoin in their digital cards while spending fiat currency, an arrangement that doesn't precisely use the peer-to-peer asset as a medium of exchange, but enable users to spend their Bitcoin holdings. So that is what is going on just in the small realm of Google and Google Pay. Great. So now we have that piece of good news, which I think helped to pump up the market or increase the market. Now let's talk about what's going on with Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram, this came out just today. What's the date today? 20th. Wow. Today, Facebook and Instagram are probably exploring plans to make and showcase and sell NFTs. And before I go on, as a reminder, Facebook also banned crypto and cryptocurrency ads. So again, when we talk about these things, indicators for when people may or may not get into crypto, they take a look at these huge companies and then, huge legacy investors like the Warren Buffetts and the Charlie Mungers and the Ray Dalios and go, well, they say it's bad, so maybe it's bad. Of course, Ray Dalio changed his tune, but I think a lot of people are going to change their tune in a lot of companies, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, which Facebook owns Instagram, and also big companies like Google. So here's what's going on in the world of Facebook and Instagram as they jump in. So we got, where'd it go? All my things are gone. That doesn't matter. Here we go. Facebook and Instagram. So social media conglomerate Meta, as they rebranded, is exploring plans to let users create, showcase, and sell NFTs on Facebook and Instagram. So they're just getting into it. And my big question is why? Why now? Why are they getting into it? I'll get to that in a second. Instagram chief Adam Mosseri said last December that the company is actively exploring NFTs and how we can make them more accessible to a wider audience. October, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, well, in October, it was just called Facebook. And then he said, hey, they spoke to how the metaverse will need to support ownership of digital goods or NFTs. So the next question is, why are they getting into this? Why is this such a big thing? And the reason it's such a big thing for them as they get into the metaverse play is because of stuff like this. OpenSea, which is one of the biggest NFT marketplaces, they just got evaluated at $13 billion. Well, not just. This was on January 5th. OpenSea, they raised a $300 million round at $13.3 billion. So can you kind of see now why, well, Facebook and Instagram want to get into it and Google wants to get in these things? Just follow the money. It's just as simple as that. And that's where we go from as far as Facebook, Instagram, and Google, what is going on. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And then let's finish up with a little piece I like to call Some Get It and Some Get Blockbustered. I'm going to show you an article and try not to laugh, but it's going to be laughable. So this is an opinion piece. This was 2 days ago. It says, why did almost no one see inflation coming? And it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, I think anybody could see inflation was coming from a mile away. And I don't think that they thought it was going to be this much, but it is what it is. And I'm not going to read the whole article because it'll put you to sleep. But what they did say here is the Fed's rate-setting Federal Open Market Committee fared no better, with none of its 18 members expecting inflation above 2.5%. Financial markets appear to have missed this one as well, with bond prices yielding similar predictions. Ditto the international or the IMF, the Congressional Budget Office, President Joe Biden's administration, even many conservative economists. They just kind of missed the whole fact that we were going to be inflated all the way up to 7%. And some people will even argue that. They think it's around 10 to 15%. And then they talk about, well, it could be supply disruptions and it could be labor supply and different things that are going on. But in all honesty, it really doesn't matter. It's just here. And that's what it is. But it just goes to show you that no matter what kind of institutions that are out there and the brain power that is behind it, and whether if you believe that they just concealed the information or they just didn't figure out in time, doesn't matter. What it shows you is that some people just don't get it. And they are actively trying to hold things back because they just don't see what's put out in front of them, which leads me to one of my next points here. Some people don't get it and some people do. And this was an article which talks about how small banks are going to go live with Bitcoin trading. There's a reason why the big banks aren't going this route. I mean, some are. We covered a story about Bankhaus in Germany. They are going to be working with BitMEX for crypto trading and things like that. But these small banks, they're like, you know what? We've been kicked around for so long by these big banks. Let's just start offering crypto. So this was an estimated 300 banks, which unveiled their plans in June. They want to go live with crypto trading in the first or second quarter with the service by NYDIG. The American Bankers Association and Independent Community Bankers of America have made investments in the company as part of the effort. So not only do we have Google, not only do we have Facebook and Instagram, not only do we have like Bill Miller, Ray Dalio, Paul Tudor Jones, all these institutions coming in. Now we have banks coming in and going, you know what? We're losing out. Let's just start to do things with crypto and offering this to their customers. This is great news, but it's only 300 banks. Why is that important? It's really not. It's important because these other banks are going to get blockbustered. And it's a term that I've been using for quite some time because they just don't see what's going on in front of them. It's the same thing that happened here where people just couldn't see that. What? Inflation? How could that possibly happen? In America? No way. So it's the same thing that's going on here. But I made mention of this one thing, which is this. No matter how great that sounds, people aren't going to get it. Because people like me and you, we understand crypto and the volatility. But if you're coming from traditional finance and your bank offers you Bitcoin and you heard about all these great stories, then all of a sudden it drops by 20%. You're like, what? That never happened to bonds. That never happened to any of my stocks that I have. This is crazy. I'm out of here. So I think this is why it's so important that we talk to our family members, our friends that are out there and go, look, there's this new product, digital assets, cryptocurrencies. It's very volatile, but we're moving forward into this new age. And I think it's going to be very big. And I think for these people that get into it from their banks, hopefully they get educated and don't just pick it up and go, this is trash because it goes on to, it's just too volatile. But that's where the beauty is. And then lastly, as far as some people that get it and some people don't, this was a story about mining chips. And I'm very happy that China dropped the ball and kicked all their miners out, because now they're in the great state of Texas, where I'm from. And a lot of people, a lot of miners are moving over there because we've got a lot of wind energy and a lot of natural gas. And they could say, hey, we're going to save a lot of money over there, and we're not in China. The big problem, though, were the ASIC chips, which power all the miners, were coming from China. Well, guess what? Intel said, don't worry, we'll make you some. So Intel's Bitcoin mining Bonanza mine chip bags the first big customer. Here's what's going on. This was just yesterday. Intel presented a new Bonanza mine ASIC chip designed for, check this out, ultra low voltage and energy efficient Bitcoin mining at the upcoming ISSCC conference. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a great conference. But one of the big issues with Bitcoin mining and proof of work, and this is what Kevin O'Leary always alludes to, also Elon Musk alludes to, is the problem that there is so much energy that it takes to mine Bitcoin. That's the discussion for another whole other video. But the big thing is, if they're going to come through with it and go, hey, you know what? Here's a chip, and it's energy efficient, and you can use it all day long. You can use it for years. It doesn't have a life of 1.25 years, and they have to throw them away. And if you want to get the energy, just go over to Texas, and we have solar, wind, and natural gas. I think that solves a big part of that problem. And on top of that, to finish this up, Fox Business reports that crypto mining startup Grid, which is set to go public for an estimated $3.3 billion on the New York Stock Exchange, signed a long-term contract with Intel for these specific chips. Grid divulged the news via its S-4 filing, plans to operate 3 industrial-scale facilities totaling a massive 48 megawatts of power. The company's filing said it has contracted with both Bitmain and MicroBT for mining ASICs, those are the other ones, but has also entered into a definitive supply contract with Intel to provide those other types of ASICs from Intel. So this, I think, is good news, and hopefully will push miners into the new frontier. We can get rid of this ridiculous discussion about just how much energy that is being produced by proof of work if we use these new Intel chips. And also, if you're talking about national security and things like that for America, well, Intel's in California. So let me just think about that in the comment section. Let's finish up with a little section I call for ballers only and Sunday swap and Q&A. So real quickly, there is this product. You probably heard me talk about it. It's called Unstoppable Domains. And these are NFT domains that live inside your MetaMask wallet or wherever you want to put your NFTs. And no one can take it away from you. So for me, like, I was a product of the 80s and 90s. Wow. And I can remember when the internet came about. So people would buy these website domains, and they would hold on to them, and there'll be big money later on. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying that's what did happen. So what Unstoppable Domains is doing right now is they're offering 4-letter domains, and it's pricey. I'm not going to lie to you. Coin.nft, coin.crypto, coin.cash, news.bitcoin. If I had 50 grand, I'd probably buy that. Just a little tight with all my buying the dips. Meme.coin, love.bitcoin, coin. Blah, 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 whatever else. So if you're into that, there's a link in the description. Looks just like this, and you can go grab yourself one of those domains if you're quite the baller. Well, there's some here for a measly 25,000. And then lastly, I just want to give a shout out to Sunday Swap. Today is the day where they are going to start up their DEX, their centralized exchange, which is built on Cardano. So good luck to them. And just so you know, the narrative out there is going to be a little bit convoluted. So just so you know, and they've even said this in multiple publications, IOHK has also said it, they've already gone through the process. They know what's going to happen. They said already that they're going to have issues in the beginning. So if you hear a bunch of people say it doesn't work because there's too much congestion and it's not going to happen, they know that's going to happen. That's why they've already tested. They're going into it. There's a lot of demand, and they're going to work through the process to get things going. So expect some turbulence, but I just want to say good luck to these guys over at Sunday Swap as they get that DEX going. And that is it for today. So we'll finish up with just a little Q&A, and then we'll get out of here. So thanks, everybody, for sticking around. What do we got? Comments? Okay, Jerome, that's it for you. All right. Here we go. Hard pass on name. Yeah, I don't blame you. Unstoppable domain is a scam. Don't buy. Yeah, I love that word scam. It's thrown away. It's thrown around every single day on every single thing. My favorite one is the one where people say it's a scam because it didn't double in 24 hours. You old. Well, true. I am. Let's see. What's up? Hey, when I get back, I'll be back in March in El Paso. Jack says, "Why do you have chat bots?" I don't have. I have moderators from time to time, and we'll see. Let's see. Any questions today? Thanks. Want to hear the light? And that's it. Here's the first question. When are you coming to Portugal? Well, here's the second question. How safe is it in Puerto Rico? It's super safe. It's an island. And I mean, every place has violence and different problems and theft and stuff like that. But in all honesty, like I'm from El Paso. And I can tell you, that's a pretty safe city in all honesty. But right across the border is Juarez, Mexico. And we used to go there a lot. And that place is dangerous. Cartels and things like that. But here, no. Second question, how do I get Sunday? So there's a couple different ways. You can stake your Cardano with one of the 30 different pools. DNews is not one of them. There's a link over at sundayswap.finance. You can find it. Actually, if you go to Twitter, I follow them. Just find that. And you can stake your Cardano to one of those stake pools, and they'll give you Cardano and Sunday Swap. Next question, number 3, do you own Solana? Yes. Steven says, I'm a little worried about ADA. I hope this DEX works. Yeah, me too. It should work. They've been doing their due diligence, but it won't be perfect. But I think over time it'll be okay. And they even said, like, look, first couple of days is going to be tough. I think going to be some huge congestion, but we're going to work with IOHK, and we're going to throttle things and fix things on the fly, and should be pretty good. Just going to take time. And question, have you ever looked into Hex? Yeah, I had Richard Hart on the show. I told him at the end, I go, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And that was it. And then lastly, what new NFT project are you excited about minting? There's not much really coming on. Oh, well, D's. You can go take a look at, I always laugh when I say it. It's D's Nuts. And it's on, and I follow them on Twitter. If you ever have a bad day, just go to their Discord group. It's hilarious. And that's it. And that's all. So everybody, that's it for today. I'll probably do a regular video, not a live stream. There's a lot of things to talk about. There's some things I wanted to get out later, but that'll be later for today. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you liked today's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, consider subscribing. A lot of things we talk about are time sensitive, like you just saw. That's it for today. So thanks so much. I appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.